In Ghana, the average income is $3 per day, so families living in poverty are vulnerable to traffickers. They promise the parents they will enroll their children in school, and in return the children can work during school breaks and on weekends. Young children, some as young as 4 years old, are then trafficked to Lake Volta, the world's largest man-made lake. They may work in the hazardous fishing trade, gold mining, or as domestic servants and rarely go to school. They work 14-hour days, 7 days a week, and are only given one small meal a day, which is often withheld as punishment. They often bear scars from the dangerous work and physical abuse, and sometimes suffer crippling injuries or even death when they try to untangle submerged fishing nets and drown. When a child is rescued, no funds are ever paid to their master. They go through a 6-month rehabilitation process where they receive medical care, psychosocial counseling, a basic education at the on-site classroom where they learn English, which is the official language of Ghana, and are given the chance to laugh and play again. They are later reunited with their families and enrolled in school. During Right to Be Free's rescue mission in 2016, Eric Piazza, Executive Director of Right to Be Free Africa, came across Kojo, who tearfully told of the abuse he endured while working on the lake. When he was only 6 years old, his stepsister told Kojo's mother that Kojo could come live with her and her husband, and she would enroll him in school. Instead, Kojo was forced to work long hours and was physically abused. After he was rescued, his stepsister and her husband were arrested by the police. They were later released with the agreement that they would never take Kojo again. Kojo is now 12 years old and lives in Tema Newtown, a slum located on the southern coast of Ghana. His stepfather was a sailor, but after he was injured, he can only do small carpentry work. Kojo's mother buys and smokes fish and sells it in the markets. Right to Be Free determined it was unsafe for Kojo to stay with his parents because drug dealers live and operate in the community. His parents agreed to allow us to move Kojo to Don Bosco, a shelter and school in the town of Sinyani. Evelyn, Right to Be Free's office assistant, arrives to pick up Kojo and meet with his parents, an uncle, and family friend. When Kojo's mother is asked how she feels about her son fishing and leaving home, she replies, "When my stepdaughter came for Kojo, she told us that she will send him to school, but she never did. Instead, he was made to work with her husband on the lake. Kojo complained of body pains. He could not do the work and her husband beat him. I'm at peace now. I know you are going to prepare Kojo to be a responsible person. I know in Jesus' name that he is not going to end up missing, and you are taking him to a safe place to help him so in the future when people see him, they will be happy that Kojo is a new and changed person." When Kojo is asked about how he feels about leaving home to start school, he replies, "I am feeling good because it has always been my dream to go to school so that when I come home, my parents will be proud of me. Every time I tell my mother I want to go to school, she would say no because she does not have the money to send me to school." Kojo leaves the one-room shanty he shares with his parents with his few belongings, and they begin their trip to Sinyani. Evelyn first takes Kojo shopping for school supplies. They shop in the local market for footwear, where Kojo tries on a pair of sandals. Evelyn finds a backpack vendor, and she also shops for bed sheets. It's now 10:30 in the evening. Evelyn pays the bus driver, and they board a bus for the 7-hour ride to Sinyani. When they arrive, it's just after dawn. Kojo carries all his supplies in a large bag on his head as they walk up to the shelter. Kojo will live at the Don Bosco shelter with 10 other rescued children. Here he will finally fulfill his dream of receiving an education. The rescued children no longer have to worry if and when they will be fed. They do have chores where they help water the plants and sweep up the courtyard. The older children also learn to iron their school uniforms. The rescued children leave in the morning to attend local schools in the area. We asked Kojo about how he felt about his first day at the shelter. He said, "I am happy that I'm here. At first I was sad and lonely. Some boys approached me and asked me why I was sitting there lonely. I told them I don't know anyone around. They encouraged me to be happy and also I should try to make friends. They advised me to study hard since I now have the opportunity which most children on the lake do not have. They told me that when they first came to the shelter, they felt the same, but after 2 to 3 days, everything became normal. They told me that when I become used to the environment, I won't even want to go home during vacations. They encouraged me again to make good use of the opportunity to make my parents proud." Kojo has overcome so much adversity and is reclaiming his childhood. Now he is free to go to school, learn a vocation, and break free from the cycle of poverty. Joy is a widow and single mother. Her 2 daughters, Peace and Mabel, were trafficked to work as domestic servants for a fisherman and his wife. The girls worked from before dawn to past midnight and were often beaten when they did something wrong. Joy sought Right to Be Free's assistance and the girls were rescued in 2014. They are now thriving in school. Peace wants to be a doctor and Mabel wants to be a teacher. Joy received a microgrant from Right to Be Free to start her fish business. Joy says, "I live in Ningo Prom Prom and travel 6.5 hours by bus to Karachi, a community by Lake Volta. I buy fresh fish from the local fishermen and smoke it. I then travel 7.5 hours to Accra, the capital of Ghana, to sell it in the market. My trips are 2 weeks long, so my oldest daughter, who is 21, looks after the younger children. I like my fish business and would like to grow it. As my children get older, their expenses increase, and that causes me sleepless nights as I struggle to support my family. But I am grateful for Right to Be Free's help in starting my business." Mawuko was only 4 years old when he was forced to work for a fisherman. Right to Be Free rescued him in 2014 when he was 12 years old. Mawuko talks about working for his master. He said, "I used to catch fish. We woke up at 3 in the morning to go to the sea, and we returned in the evening. We were not given any food until we returned at night. My master treated us badly. Sometimes he would beat us. If we go to the sea and he asks you to do something, and you make a small mistake, he will beat us." When asked how he felt when he was rescued, he says, "I felt happy because I am no longer a fisherman. I am now a student, and when they are counting people who go to school, they will count me as well." I would like to say to Right to Be Free, may God help and bless them. God should bless every work that they are doing, and wherever they get the money they use to take care of us, may God multiply it for them so they can continue to help us. These are some of the children working on Lake Volta who dream of being free, safe, and loved. With your support, we can make their dream a reality so they can run and play, go to school, and build a brighter future.